What's up, guys? So we're still here in Shakespeare's Stratford on Avon, and we've just been to the Falstaff's tavern and spent a few hours there doing paranormal. This is William Shakespeare's house. This belonged to his father, John Shakespeare, and he used to make gloves for his business, his family business. And William Shakespeare started to write plays. His father wanted him to go into the glove business, but he wanted to write plays. So his father said, well, take some of the gloves down to London and you can go and see some of the live theatre shows whilst you're down there. So William Shakespeare took the gloves down to London, and he didn't sell any of the gloves in London. He was going to the theatres and he was getting in with all the actors and he was handing out his plays and he was going to different theatres to see if anybody would look at his plays. And he was spending more and more time in London and less time in Stratford. So when he eventually came back and his father said, okay, where's the money for the gloves? He didn't have any money for the gloves, but he'd sold plays, so he had money for the plays. So for a few years he lied to his family, told them he was selling gloves. So he kept going down to London with the gloves and coming back with the money, but he was actually selling his plays. And the gloves he was using for, he was having lace and things, beads attached, and they were being used by the actors in his plays. And the way his family found out, because he was getting popular in London, a notice appeared in Stratford advertising one of his plays, and his wife saw it, Anne Hathaway, his wife, and she thought, he's supposed to be selling gloves in London, so why is he advertising this play? So she made the trip down to London, and not only was he directing the play at the Globe, because there was an actor missing, he was actually on the stage in the full garb with the sword, acting out the part of, I think it was Richard III. He was acting out the part because he had no actor for it, and she was in the audience, absolutely gobsmacked. Like, you're supposed to be selling gloves in London, what the hell? And that's how she found out, and there was a great family uproar. By then, he'd made so much money, he came back here, he bought his wife a beautiful house, very similar to this one, and so there was no more to be said about it. He was famous already. But he had been living the life of Riley in London. He'd been having like the all-night parties, going out with other playwrights such as Christopher Marlowe, who wrote Dr. Faust, but Bartholomew Fair writer, Ben Jonson. They were all hanging out together, going to parties, having a good time, with the women on each arm, and his wife turned up, and this is what she saw. So she was not happy, but she was happy with the money. So this is Shakespeare's house. This is where he grew up. This was the original family business. You can go around during the daytime. It's a museum, so you can go around during the daytime. So I'm going to get the EMF meter out and see if we can get any activity. And then we'll try a little EVP recording. And Andy is going to do some of his best Shakespearean English to see if we can get through
Forsooth,
the one and only,
maybe the
the
morrow.
great William Shakespeare.
Forsooth, maybe the morrow.
He had a very, very active life, and his plays, I think, because they're written in Old English, it puts a lot of people off. But really, if they were written in today's language, people would really, really love them. They really enjoy the movies and everything.
I think if you read the books, it's very difficult.
Right,
but if you watch the plays and you watch the films, then you understand it and you pick it up and you learn it. You know, it's yeah.
I did in school.
It's
Macbeth and Romeo and Juliet, and then at A level I did The Tempest and Antony and Cleopatra. When you do A level English and drama, you have to then perform it on stage. So we also performed The Tempest. So I have a natural love for that, and a lot of people do, for Shakespeare and the plays. A lot of people think they're a load of rubbish and don't make any sense, but that's because
they do.
Of the language and the time it was written. William Shakespeare or John Shakespeare or Anne Hathaway, if any of you are present here at the house, would you like to come forward and talk to us? Tell us about your glove business. Come and show yourself at one of the windows, if you can. If you prefer, we have an EVP recorder. And if I talk to you, you'll be able to talk back. And even if you just want to quote a line from one of your plays to let us know that it's you.
Just press the red button when you want to start.
This is why I'm more Shakespeare and less technology. William Shakespeare,
forsooth.
are you here? Please come and talk to us into this device if you're here. We'd love to hear you.
Now is the winter of our discontent.
That wasn't it, by the way. Of John Shakespeare, the glovemaker, are you here? Look at the EMF meter if you're here and speaking to this.
You're walking down this street.
Anne Hathaway, Shakespeare's wife, are you here? She lived in this house for a while with the kids. He had three children and one died. He had an elder daughter, and then he had twins, a girl and a boy, and the boy died and the boy had just started to write plays of his own, and he died at 14. What happened to the boy? There's twins, girl and a boy. The girl took really sick, and he came home from London because she was really sick, and by the time he got home she was cured and she was well, and then the boy had fell sick, Hamnet, and he died. So when he wrote his play Hamlet, he named it after Hamnet, his son that died. Would you like to talk to us about that, Shakespeare? William Shakespeare, if you're here? Let's walk down to the garden. Anne Hathaway, Shakespeare's wife, are you here?
To be or not to be? That is the question.
That is the question.
Maybe a nobler of the mind.
I know where you ought to be, Andy, over there at the House of Spells.
The slings and
That's where you
arrows
should
of
be. House of Spells.
the slings and arrows
The owls there in the
of
window.
serious misfortune.
We're straying now. We're supposed to be doing Shakespeare.
Yeah, we're supposed to be doing Shakespeare. We're
Shall
not
I
doing
play
owls.
this back and see if we've got anything?
We're
And if
not
we
doing
don't,
it.
then
We're not
we'll
doing
change
owls.
over and you can have a go. Because maybe he wants to speak to another man. Maybe he's just about had enough of women in his life. Because he got you know when he wrote The Taming of the Shrew?
Yeah, that was
all about the nagging wife giving him loads of grief. So he
Yeah,
wrote
I've
that because
seen
his
that
wife was
with,
doing his head in.
Richard.
And don't say anything. You don't need to comment on that.
I think I've opened my mouth enough tonight.
Yeah, but you got some activity going.
I know, but I sometimes think I take over and I shouldn't
Yeah, but they
do.
want you to because
You
there's
know.
new people coming all the time learning
I
stuff.
know. Yeah, I do, but
Talk to us into this device if you're here. Let's have a look at the garden models. Well, it's you doing your Shakespeare. I thought we'd got something then.
are you sure it was me?
John Shakespeare,
It may
the
not be.
clockmaker, are you here? Flick of the EMF meter if you're here and speaking to this.
Maybe it's a ghostly Richard III. Where he comes from Leicester.
See, I'm not so sure if it's you. Anne Hathaway, Shakespeare's wife. Are you here? She lived in this house for a while. He built her a bigger house. The other house, Anne Hathaway's house, is just started to write. What happened to the boy's twins, girl and boy? Not sure if I didn't hear her. You know, like a sigh.
Yeah.
You'll have to listen it back
I'll
and see
listen
if
to it.
you heard a sigh. When I was telling the story, he named it after Hamnet, his son that died.
I'll have a listen to it.
Would you like to talk to us about that, Shakespeare? William Shakespeare? I'm not sure if we didn't just hear a little bit of a whispering background then. Are you here? Please come and talk to us. It's this device. If you're here, we'd love to hear you. No, that bit's you. That wasn't it, by the way. John Shakespeare, the clockmaker, are you here? Flick of the EMF meter if you're here and speaking to this. Anne Hathaway, Shakespeare's wife. Are you here? She lived in this house for a while.
And there isn't nobody else around.
3 children and one died. He had an elder daughter. And then he had twins, a girl and a boy. And the boy died. And the boy just started to write plays of his own. So when he wrote his play Hamlet, he named it after Hamlet, his son that died. Now I hear a bit of whispering there. There's two things for you to listen to there, right? That just started flickering. Maybe where I say first he lost his son Hamlet. There's like a
Yeah.
right, and then when I go on about his wife saying that she lived in this house, I can hear like a female.
Like
I've heard you doing your Shakespeare, but it's like a woman whispering in the background. So when you listen it back,
I'll listen to it.
I'll take the camera now and you can have a go. See if anything comes through for you, because you've got the Shakespearean beard. I mean, you even look like him. If you put pantaloons on, why did we do this? Why did we put you in the pantaloons and the flipping puffball skirt thing that they used to wear, and the ruffly collar and the? We should have done this. We should have had you stood out here, dressed as William Shakespeare, and I bet we would have got something then. He's pretending like he's deaf. This is what you call selective heariness, guys. Selective hearing, selective deafness. She was really sick, and by the time he got home, she was cured and she was well, and then the boy had fell sick, Hamlet, and he died. So when he wrote his play Hamlet, he named it after Hamlet, his son that died. Would you like to talk? No, a little bit of female. William Shakespeare, if you're here. Like a voice whispering. Let's walk down to the garden. Anne Hathaway, Shakespeare's wife, are you here? No, that's you. That is the question. Maybe not. I know where you want to be, on the other there at the House of Spells. That's where you should be, House of Spells. Look at the owls there in the window. We're straying now, we're supposed to be doing Shakespeare. Shall I play this back and see if we've got anything? If we don't, then I'll change over and you can have a go. Did you hear the female voice? Let's have a walk down to the Shakespeare statue. Some beautiful shops here, guys. It's well worth a visit, you know. It's only, well, it all depends where you live, really, to the distance. But where we live in Manchester, it's only like a 2.5 hour drive to get here. Everything's Shakespeare, though. Let's go to his statue, though, because they've lit it all up. Let's see if we can get anything at his statue. We'll go to the statue and I think we'll make our good night, because we're going to run out of battery anyway soon. But I think that we got then a little bit of whispering in the background, so we're going to have to check that out, guys. This is just a little bit of a 10-minute, 15-minute add-on to the Falstaff Tavern that we did earlier. So that's Shakespeare's statue right outside of his house. So that's his statue there with his house in the background. Alright, so Andy.
Yeah, that was just a nice little bit of...
we did Falstaff's Tavern before, and Falstaff was his friend who owned the local pub. So whenever Shakespeare was back home, he used to go down there for a drink, chat with his friend. But he actually wrote Falstaff into 3 of his plays. Apparently, we found out from the guide tonight that Falstaff wasn't happy about that being written into the plays. He said, "Stop writing me into your plays." But because he was such a character, he did write him into his plays. And talking of such a character, do your Shakespeare, Andy. Go on before we finish. You have to get it out of your system.
Now is the winter of our discontent. And I can't remember the rest of it.
Do the Hamlet.
Alas, alas, poor Yorick. I knew him well, Horatio. And on that note,
we will end it in Stratford.
Good night.
For now, but who knows what's going to happen when we get back to our campsite. We are camping on a 16th century packhorse track, which led out of Stratford to London, and we might just set up the camera again when we get back. So see you on the other side, guys.